So today we've got a Sunday video for you guys, and I was going to do an update on what's going on in the stock market next week because it's a big week. There's a lot of companies that are going to report earnings on the UK and on the US side of it and the Fed. But I thought, you know what, let's do that on Monday. Today I thought let's make it a bit of a shorter video, a bit more of a fun video, and we're going to do an update into the stock league. A lot of you guys have asked me for an update into the stock league, so here we go. So some of you guys may not know, or may know, it depends if you've entered or not. We did a competition and it was basically me versus you guys. Pick a stock and whoever gets the best returning stock wins £100. And it was a bit of a fun challenge to see, pick your number one stock and let's see who can obviously perform the best, who can outperform the S&P 500, and a little bit of a challenge just out there to kind of open up to everyone that watches and also to other YouTubers. I think it's always a good talk about stocks, but let's see if you can, pick that stock. And it's been funny that there hasn't really been too many YouTubers that have entered the competition. I think they're a little bit scared of actually having to show some returns. And also it's been very funny because I noticed there's a few people that was a little bit negative on a couple of stock picks, and then it was like, okay, come on then, you open up your stock picks for us to have a look at, and they also then went, well, I'm not going to comment on the videos anymore, and suddenly disappeared off the scene. But it's been quite interesting to see how everybody's been doing. So on the Discord, if you're not on the Discord and you want to join, the link's in the description. But if you join the Patreon and get onto the Discord, we actually have our own tab, which is this one here. It's called the Stock League Table. And if you go on the Stock League Table, there's the spreadsheet that you can access here. This was put together by Danny, so thanks to Danny who did put this spreadsheet together. And when you open up the spreadsheet, here we go. We're going to start off from the bottom. So we did in total have 178 entries into the competition. Hopefully when we do it again in a year's time, and we'll carry on this league going forward, and then we do another re-entry in a year's time, we obviously then increase the amount of people that do enter into the competition. Quite interestingly, I think the benchmark is, I think it is 7%. I think the S&P is up since we started this competition. So obviously the target is, I would expect to obviously be beating the S&P 500, especially with the rally that we've been on recently. Just be aware, there is some times where the cells pop up NA. That is a glitch where the data isn't connecting at the moment, and give it a kind of a while, it will update. So unfortunately, if yours is coming up with NA, that's because Google Finance is just having a bit of a glitch today, and I'm sorry, this is the day I'm filming when Google Finance decides to have a glitch. So, I mean, we look at the stocks down here, the stocks to start off with down here at the bottom. Obviously, we're starting with the lowest returns. Obviously, not very close to the S&P 500's 7% return. There's not many stocks that I actually recognise. Obviously, I noticed Tattoo Chef, and that is very brave picking Tattoo Chef because that is one of the worst run companies I have ever seen in my life. But yeah, I mean, going through, there's still not really too many companies that I have really heard of. But here, the first one that I'm kind of seeing here is Hims & Hers. Hims & Hers coming in with a negative 7%, which is quite surprising. Had a bit of a poor time at the moment as that stock, and obviously that's been underperforming the market by about 14%. But granted, it was a stock that has been on a very good run, so it's probably due a pullback, and I believe we've got earnings sometime soon. A couple of stocks down here. Strix I've seen mentioned quite a bit on the Discord. Forterra, a few people going with the Forterra there. Obviously the housing market hasn't really improved at the moment, so obviously that's probably not doing really well. ASML, I know they had a big drop off earnings, so that's probably just a bad timing with that one. National Express, a little bit underperforming the market, you can see here, another stock that we realise. Persimmon, yeah, I would expect a lot of the housing markets to kind of be grouped around here. Yeah, like Taylor Wimpey, for example, as well. I've actually just refreshed it because I realised there was an error with the data coming up. I think I left it open too long. So yeah, every price should be filled, so you should be able to see your actual position now. So if I just go back to where we were, which I believe was Card Factory, which is here, so up 2%. That's not really done too much at the moment, but I think that should be a good pick. GSK we've got there, Dollar Tree, Arista Networks, Rolls Royce. So we are very much now, we've entered, so we've got, from all the entries there, you can see that there was around about half the entries are actually negative at the moment, and half the entries are positive, which I was quite surprised to see. But we're entering the green stocks here, and there's a couple of stocks that we have here. The Amazon up 5%, and then we get basically to 7%. So anyone above around the halfway-ish mark, around that 90 place, you guys are actually beating the S&P 500. So only half the entries at the moment are beating the S&P 500 at the moment. So yeah, it shows you how tricky it is actually to achieve that. And we've got the Gym Group there. Look at that. There's a lot of entries from S4 Capital there at the moment. Surprisingly, you wouldn't have thought this, but S&P 500 S4 Capital is outperforming the S&P 500 and up 11% since the start of this challenge. You wouldn't have thought that, would you? So that's obviously that's a lot of it in the last couple of days. Palantir, this stock's been on fire quite a bit at the moment. Very good returns there, as you can see. Helion, there was a lot of interest for Helion, which I was really surprised about. Then PayPal, I knew there was going to be a lot of interest for PayPal. I thought it's a stock that I've been talking about a lot at the moment, and I think a few other people are looking at that one. So for me, it was personally between InMode and PayPal, and I decided to go with PayPal at the end. So that was my pick, as you can see me here. I'm currently up, well, anyone that's went PayPal with me down here, we're all up 15% at the moment, so we're doubling the S&P 500's performance, which is really good. And we're also in like the top third, which is not too bad at all. I'd probably take that. It's not too bad. But when I show you the other stock in a second, you can see why I am a little bit annoyed. We've got Tesla, so even with the drop that it had, Tesla's still doing very well at the moment, as you can see here. Some stocks that some stocks that I'm not too familiar with. I can't believe Skills in like the 30 position. Dark Trace, obviously that's been doing very well, up 37%. Scottish Running World picking that one. A few entries for SoFi, obviously that's done very well. Aston Martin, I'm quite surprised about Aston Martin making that list there. I know we've got the guys from the Playing Footsie somewhere around here. You might have seen them, Steve D, Steve W. I might have passed them already, I'm not sure. We've got the Swift Finance with Neo and a couple of other Neo entries. They're doing really well. Here's the most annoying one. So I was deciding between PayPal and InMode, and I went with PayPal in the end. And look at that, InMode, especially in the last couple of weeks, has been on a really good rally, and obviously that's up 40%, and that's been massively outperforming the S&P 500. So anyone that's gone InMode, obviously we've got Bobla and Fergie. A lot of you guys will probably know Fergie. So they're doing really well. Should have probably gone for that one. Oh, and Big Mo's as well. Obviously another Discord Patreon member. All the YouTube comments are in the red, and any Patreon Discord members are in the blue. But I don't know why Fergie's in the red, because he's actually he is an actual Patreon member. Then we get a bit further up. Gang in the 20s. That's unbelievable. We've got Goldie there. Obviously Goldie's always in the comments, always getting that first place there. We start to head a little bit higher up now into the top 20. Bit of Clean Spark. We've got some Revolution Beauty. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if that's up as that much after what they posted on the Friday. That could be in a bit of a drop. Gloria with Carnival Cruises. I know she's massive on Carnival. I believe it's her biggest position, if I remember correctly. We've got Coinbase, EHang in 9th place. Who would have thought that? Up 60%. We've got the Hook Group. A few entries, free entries for the Hook Group, but been doing really well, 65%. You guys might be onto a little bit of one there, because I think that could potentially get acquired in the next 12 months, which obviously should give you a nice pop. And then we've got the top 5. We've got Designer 23T with Marathon Digital, up 68%. We've got Edo with Life MD, up 89%. And I know that was actually, for the last couple of weeks, that's actually been in top place, but it's only just recently been pipped, and I think it's had a little bit of a drop recently, so a little bit unlucky there with the timing of the video. But hey, it's over the long term, we should get the real winners then, so we'll see what happens. We've got Ian Campbell there, Wood Boys Limited, not even heard of that one, but a very small company, as I can see there. 90% return on that one. We've got, actually in first place, I've just realised the cells are all in wrong numbers, so Jack G, anyone with a Hook Group actually takes that 5th spot place there. But at the top, with Flat Out K4 in the top spot with Amigo Holdings, up 193%. And I know this has been on a really good run. And I know this has been actually a lot of interest in the Discord about this, and potentially people looking at that. So really good return there. But yeah, obviously still a lot to play for, early days, but that's how the table stands at the moment. So hope you see your entry on there, and we'll see how we do. And we'll do a little bit of an update maybe in a couple of months' time anyway. So hope you enjoyed it anyway, guys. Catch you in a bit.